Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing great. Today I'm going to do a strumming lesson for you, and what I want to do is show you 3 techniques that I use to add dynamic and color and just change in the songs, you know, to add things to them and change things up a little bit and add a little bit of variation in your playing. So everyone knows that, you know, if you know how to strum, there's your basic up down strum. And it's just straight up, full out strumming. And a lot of songs call for this. But a lot of songs would be pretty boring to play if that's all you were doing. And so what I like to do is I use 3 techniques. I like to add some single string picking in there. Right in the middle of my strumming. I like to add palm muting into my strumming, and I also like to do hammer-ons and pull-offs while I'm strumming. So that's what I want to show you today. So I'm just going to be using G, C, and D, these chords, and I'm going to be using just a straight up, down pattern, basically. But I'm going to show you how to change it up a little bit to add some more into your songs, because a lot of songs, your verses will call for something different. Sometimes they have the same chord progression as your choruses, but you want to make them sound different somehow, and you can do that by using these techniques and playing the exact same chords. So we just have our normal up-down strumming. The first thing I want to show you is how I add single string picking into that. So we're going to start on the G, and I'm just going up, down, normal, but we can keep that pace and keep that rhythm and keep that beat, but we can add just 1 string at a time, or 2 or 3 strings, or whatever feels right, kind of whatever the song calls for. And that looks something like this. So I might hit the bass note and then hit, kind of alternate with the strings I'm hitting. And it doesn't matter, you know, as long as you're on the chord, you can really hit any string and be okay. And what you need to do is just play around with that and see what sounds good to you. Because I can hit, you know, the 3rd and 4th and 2nd strings, or I can hit the 1st and 2nd and 3rd. So all I'm doing is strumming, but maybe just doing 1 strum and then single string picking, and then another strum and then some single string. So that's one thing to work on. That's one thing I use a lot. The second thing I use, especially to make some variation between the verse and the chorus, is I'll use palm muting really often when I'm playing the verses. And choruses, a lot of times, most of the time, they're just strummed full out. So, and the way to do that, if you don't know what palm muting is, it's using your right hand, placing your palm, this part of your hand, up on the strings to create a muted sound. So you can do that while you're strumming too. A lot of people use pretty often when you're doing single string picking. But you can strum and palm mute too. So here's what that looks like. Here's your normal up, down. You're changing your pattern here because, like doing an up, down strum, palm muted, doesn't really sound that great. But you can play, if if I'm just doing a straight up, up-down strum, it sounds like this. I can palm mute it and use a different strumming pattern, and it'll go along quite nicely with this strum. And you can add the single string picking in there as well. To add a little bit of difference in there. And then if you're going to a chorus, you can do full out. So we've got our single string, we've got our palm muting, and the third thing I want to show you today is using hammer-ons and pull-offs while you're strumming, and I do that a lot too. So basically, in my chords, there's usually a string you can hammer on or pull off or leave open or, you know, fretted. And so, for example, on my G chord, I oftentimes will hammer on the 5th string. C chord, oftentimes I'll hammer on the 4th string, and a D chord, oftentimes I'll hammer on the 1st string. You can go from open to 2nd fret. So if we're just doing our straight up, up-down strumming, it sounds like this. We can add a little bit of variation in there by doing these hammer-ons. So here's what that sounds like. Hammer on the A chord. A lot of times I'm hammering on the 2nd string, open to the 2nd fret. And then you add a little bit of single string picking in there and palm muting, and you can add a whole lot of different color into the song. So sounds a lot different than so I've got a lot of people that love the way I strum and love the, you know, detail I put into my playing, and they've been requesting these kind of videos to kind of show you the process I go through and things I do to create the dynamic that I do in my playing. So hopefully that was helpful to you. I want to do more of these, so let me know how this one worked for you, if you learned anything, if it was helpful at all, and I'll try to put some more things together. But there's always stuff to play around with. There's always change that you can do in your playing just to liven things up a little bit and get a little bit of different dynamic in your playing. So work on that stuff, you guys. Please let me know if it's helpful, and I'll try to do more of this stuff for you. But I appreciate all of you guys for watching. Thank you.